Good evening. I'm Mark Andrus, the Bishop of the Diocese of California, and welcome to Grace Cathedral. So it is very special to have one of the great spiritual leaders of our day and our world to speak here. This is a moment of global transformation. Today, Pancho Stirle, a young man who was arrested in Oakland, meditating in front of City Hall during Occupy, in a completely nonviolent protest, was interviewed on Alternet. You can read it there. He is a native of Mexico and a citizen of Mexico and is undocumented in our country. Immediately, he was put in jail, and proceedings began to deport him. Thousands of people rallied around Pancho because of his nonviolent witness, and he has been able to remain in San Francisco and in Oakland, continuing his work of nonviolence. In the interview today, he said that it is time for spiritual people to become active, and for active people to become spiritual. I think this is our common goal and our task. It is with great honor and pleasure that I welcome you and you, Your Majesty.
Begin by saying how pleased and privileged I feel to be invited to be a part of this event, and particularly because it's a Shambhala event, that every institutional and artistic and community sector in Nova Scotia has benefited from the arrival and continuing presence of Shambhalians over the last several decades. It's a remarkable thing when you think about it, that Dalhousie and St. Mary's and our other schools, our civil service, our artistic community, the business sector, the NGO sector would be weaker. There would be less creative decency if Shambhalians had not arrived. And one of the things I understand as a person of faith is that one of the reasons why you folks who are part of Shambhala have had such a big impact is that you practice. Your good work out there is deeply connected to your hard work on the meditation mat or at Gambo Abbey or on your meditative walks or in your studies of your tradition. And because of your internal journey and your attention to the expansion of basic goodness in your own natures, the basic goodness of our society, the basic goodness of our community, and I would go so far as to say the basic goodness even of the natural order here in this part of the world has expanded. I think that faith is a disposition that leads us to feel, to trust, that if we pour our basic goodness into the world will respond with what Marty calls creative decency. That life is not a zero-sum game, that the truest narratives are not narratives of scarcity, but that the core equations of life in this cosmos can be played with and changed, and that they bend life away from smallness and closure and scarcity towards openness and magic and the expansion of possibilities.